Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. Oh, it's a great day in the neighborhood. We're ready to get back to Renea reproduction here, as well as finishing up the guar. Grod is done and dusted, and we're going to set up bedding in this episode, so... got a lot of good stuff going on. These are mostly preparations for future stuff. There's a lot of things in the future that use bedding. There's a lot of things in the future that use Renea or Renea seeds, guar bean seeds. And so just getting all of that ready means that we won't have to make these when we're doing other stuff. So this, I think this is kind of how I prefer to play, as much as I may not believe it sometimes. It's like, well, this is kind of how I do it. I like to do all the flowers and animals that I haven't done like in a row, and then get them ready for a while, and then go do non-alien life stuff for a while. And we did the same thing with the upmarking. You know, we upmarked everything that we could all at one time. And I think I prefer to do it that way. Is it because I don't like it? Like, the sad reality is that that probably means I don't love doing this, and that's why I do it all at once, to get it out of the way. It also is a little bit like your brain has to switch modes. And so like I want to switch into this mode and be in this mode for a little while. I think a little bit of it is I don't love it. And I don't know exactly what it is, because the idea is cool. I actually really like the idea of tiered modules, and like you have to upgrade a few at an expensive way, and then you can reproduce them once you have some. Like the gist of all of it I really like. But I guess if I look at how I feel about it, it's not negative, but it's not as positive as the other things I feel like I get to do in Pi. So there's something there that's causing friction that I guess I'm not in love with, and I don't know if I can really put my finger on it. And like, I'm not trying to complain about it, I'm just trying to analyze like how I'm feeling about it, and it's not entirely positive. And I'm not totally sure what that means. Okay, but this will produce 2 more sets of Renea, so I will put one little blip there so we can store a few modules before they get turned into seeds. Actually, disappeared. Okay, well, anyway, that's a digression. In this episode, we're gonna get bedding going. Guar here. We're rolling. Rolling in the guar. Alright, so bedding we said we were going to put over by... Actually forgot where I said we were going to put it. It was weak side. Over here by Navins. Yeah. So we got the requester already set up, and we just need to request... Well, we already have logs here. I'll just use those logs for wood, because logs are far denser. And then, and that's even more true with saw blades. Holy crap. It's already 10 wood per log, but now it's going to be like 14 wood per log once we have the tier 2 buildings and saw blades. Anyway, what am I doing? Bedding is the Yotoi. Aloe plants. We'll say 25 stacks. It is the raw fiber. We'll say 20, let's see, 7 stacks maybe? And then it is the wood, and what's the last thing? Grod, dried grod. And that's probably about 22 stacks for buffering. Okay, and then we'll split off, probably the easiest way to do it is a filter inserter. We already have stacked wood right here. No, let's just do this. It's actually perfect. There we go, stacked wood. That looks very odd. Oh no, it's not gonna work. No, sorry, that doesn't work. It's on the wrong side. Shoot. There's literally no way to make this work. I guess... Wow, this is all spaghettied in just such a way that it's going to be really hard to get that stacked wood out of there. Maybe what I can do... Oops, I did not mean to do that. The annoyances of remote building. To be fair, I'm also using a mod that's illegal, which is, you know, picker dollies. So picker dollies not working perfectly with remote view is not Factorio's fault. But yeah, it makes sense that it won't slide over items. In fact, you might even... That might be a setting. My brain is tingling. Is that a setting? Dollies. Where's the... What's it called? I feel like the even picker dollies. Yeah, ignore collision boxes. Oh, that's the player, though. That does let you moving entities so that they collide overlap. That's not the same as things on the ground, though. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, I'll just come over here to fix it. All right. Well, my solution is to rotate it. And then we can do this. And now we got wood over here. Alright, we figured it out. Go team. Anyway, now that that's done, we've got dried grod, and then this one will have fiber and yotoi. And do one of those. The dried grod goes here. And then we'll get rid of some trees. I will leave an ample space here. And then the bedding is made in a wood processing unit. But we also need the leaves, which are made in also a wood processing unit. And it's made 5 at a time. So this actually, this is a rare moment. Oh no, those don't... I can't do it. Yes. Okay. I think we're going to be able to manage this for 0 spoilage. Like, ever. Because often you can't do true 0 spoilage because of the issue. What's the issue, you say? Well, the issue is that true 0 spoilage often doesn't work because you have like remainders of stuff, but this makes exactly fine. Oh, it's productivity though. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. I lied. All right, screw it. Let's do it the normal way. I was gonna say we're not gonna get any spoilage, but it's fine. A little bit of biocred won't kill us. Okay. So bedding ends up on some sort of belt there. Does bedding... Okay, that's bedding recycling, that is bedding recycling, and that, such a weird recipe, makes half a bedding. I wonder, is this worth it for the great samples and the mutant enzymes and the vat brain cartridges, or is this just terrible? I can't imagine it's worth it for the other pieces. Anyway, that's a different question. It's also affected by prod. So with enough prod modules, maybe that's decent. There is a dried kickout for bedding recipe. Wait a second. What's that come from? Hold on. Did we... Oh, dried calc. We didn't look at this. Oh, never mind. It reduces output. I don't like that. Though it does go a lot faster. Or a good amount, 20% less time, which is 25% faster. But yeah, it makes less kick-out overall. So that seems kind of bad. It does make bedding kind of free though, so it's an interesting question. Ew. But also, maybe 40% more kick-out is a lot. Oh god, it changes which one. Oh my gosh, Renea and Ralasia seeds. And then this one is Tufra and Grod. And it's about a 30% boost. This one, also about a 30% boost. Yotoi and Cadaveric Arum. But that's easy though in a sushi sense, because isn't that just, can't we just make the seeds from the, yeah, I mean, and that makes enough to give the seeds back, so it's free. I think, which one is the seed one for this? This one's weird. Wait, yeah, this one's weird. We can't make seeds from Yotoi. So this one's annoying, specifically, but the other ones I don't think have mattered. What am I looking at? What I'm wanting to look at is the different ways to make kick-out. Okay. So the 3 was Tufra and Grod, both of which just make their own seeds at a ratio that I think is fine. Right, what's the Tufra seed ratio? That is 2 to 8, so yeah, very easy on that. So, I mean, you end up getting free Tufra and Grod out of it, and more kick-out. So I guess, but with the added inconvenience of turning these back into seeds, it's good. This one's kind of bad because of the Yotoi. Not actually turning back into its own seeds. So we'd have to supply the Yotoi seeds externally, or make them on site or something. And then this one is Fridrin, which is 1 to 2, so that's fine. But an Ulrich cub, that's less fine. So I'm not sure about that turd. That feels a little ambitious. You only get 18 out of 50 more. That is about a third. I just don't know if that's worth it. Huh. What's this last one do? Just makes it faster, and you get seeds out. Holy crap. You literally get free seeds and free kick-out. Well, not free kick-out, but you don't need to turn any of the kick-out into seeds. After the 3rd iteration? No. Fourth iteration is seed positive, even. I think this is probably good. Probably not too great at first. That's 20 saline per kick-out, but that number goes down pretty quick. By the time you get to the 3rd one, which is the one we're looking forward to using, it's only 10 saline per kick-out, which is, if we look at like numbers, that's 10 saline a second. You know, that's nothing. I'm dealing with, what even is that? 100, 200, 250 a second throughout the base. I can easily make double that without even trying, with 1 salt mine and a box of scraps in a cave. So I'm not worried about that. So back to the kick-out turd. The crop rotation is actually kind of interesting. The NaCl irrigation is, I think, basically just a good change. So that's kind of the safe option. And the dried one, it requires a heating system. Heat sinks are unlocked already, and they are used. So then the turd is adding a new way to make a heating system. So here's the real question. Does that make it worth it? Oh. Now here's... This is one of those things that's just impossible to evaluate. Because the heating system is expensive, right? Carbon nanotube... I don't even know what all these things are, but they're not cheap, I can promise you. So instead, we could just do this, and heat sinks are just aluminum. This is like almost free in comparison. So that turd makes heating systems basically free. Ignore the kickalc. Do we need nacelle Mark IV for anything? No. Not unless I set up hot 4s. Do I need neutron moderators Mark IV? Probably only a couple. So that makes me think, never mind. Because heating systems are only ever going to be needed for this. And, you know, I can make neutron moderator Mark III. You know, unless it does productivity, I'm not going to need a Mark IV ever, probably. So that seems a little bit unnecessary. If heating systems were used in some more places, I might say that could be a good way to do it. And maybe I'm wrong and I'm missing something, and there is something heating systems are doing that I'm missing. But at least based on this, that's it. It's used in 2 buildings. And that's not used in any buildings. So I think we just don't really need heating systems. Which brings me to the NaCl irrigation. Or the crop rotation. Which one do I like more? Let's look at tier 3, because that's the one we're probably going to use for a long time. So the difference is this one basically makes the seeds free. We only need 3 seeds to make 20 kickalc, and so we only have to use like 1 kickalc to return those seeds. So the seeds are almost free for that one. And then from there, so we've got Tufra and Grod for free out. This is a 90 second, this is a 72 second. So let's do the math on that. So 20 every 72 versus 27 every 90. 20 every 72 versus 27 every 90. They're about the same rate. The 27 one is slightly faster, but not by much. So I'm not gonna really say those are significantly different in terms of output rates. So we'll need about the same size of build for both, is what I'm getting at. This one will need the Tufra and Grod seed recycling plants, and then we'll have freebie Tufra and Grod to output. But if you think about the numbers, like the amount of Tufra and Grod that I end up getting out of this isn't that much. Because if I need, let's say 10 kickalc per second, I'd only be getting, you know, after the seed recycling, like 0.2 Tufra per second or something. Or 1 Tufra per second, maybe. So, as far as rates, I just don't know how much that matters. So the important part here is that we're getting more kickalc for the same ingredients. I guess that's the... Wait, what did I make? 10k chemical science. Ooh. So yeah, the important part there for the kickalc turd is that we're getting more for the same ingredients. But 5 is kind of bad because of Ulrich cubs. That feels like that's more expensive now. But is it? I mean, what is this actually adding? Because it's the same lamp ash sand. It adds a phosphorus acid barrel, which is not super chill either. A bunch more fertilizer. I feel like you never switch to this recipe in general. I mean, even at the regular one. Is that worth it? Because fertilizer is already the most expensive part, and you're doubling it to get 50 instead. You're using more fertilizer per kickalc. And phosphorus acid. and you're doubling the biomass, so that's not even free. You're tripling the clay, so you would only move to this recipe if you needed the speed. That's my take, because it is faster by like double, and it's more productive. So here you're getting about half a kickout per second. Here you're getting about 2 kickout per, so it's about 4 times faster. That's why you would switch from 4 to 5, not because of the kickout cost. So to that point, we're already getting 25% more speed from this one, which makes us even less likely to ever need to switch to this one, on top of getting the seeds back for free. And we're going to be netting seeds eventually, which actually means we don't have to use up any kickout for the kickout seed output, which is used in some various places, like Corlex food, or I guess that's it. Oh, and these, whatever this is, denatured seismite, which is the cotton gut stuff. The weird cotton gut outputs. There's 5 tiers of that apparently, and it's used in 2 of the 5, the Negasium and the denatured seismite. Other than that, it's just Corlex food. Or we can make iron ore out of it if we want, which is hilarious and weird. So yeah, I think I've decided. Kickout turd, we're gonna do the saline one. Where's my future notes? Kickout saline. Cool. All right, back to bedding. So for this, we need, I guess the question is, how many of these do we need? Almost 1 each. It'll change the numbers around a little bit when we're dealing with productivity. And I'm going to do not a sushi loop, just a loop. So that way we can control whether we're loading anything on, so that it doesn't get too full. I'll actually control it here. So this will only enable if we have, I mean, what is this going to need to be? Not very much, right? Like, saw blade. Let me get these plopped in here. Because those rates aren't correct. So it's like 4 of these. So 2.6 a second means we need to have, and these are going to be stacked 3 and 2, 3 and 2, so they average out to about a stack size of 2. So we really only need like 1 per belt-ish, which is like 30 belts, so we need about 40 maybe. Okay. It will clump a little bit because it'll let through a bunch and then it'll be too high and then it'll go, that's fine. And then this one will only run if bedding in general is below a certain amount. And yeah, that does mean if we run out of wood or grod or fiber, that we will be creating biocrud for nothing. But this is restricting us from getting too much biocrud from that. It is 40 every 13 minutes, plus however many is buffered. That's not nothing, but we'll do that. And then the other stuff comes in this way. I guess we should do one of these. And then we can beacon this and expand it later if we need to. Alright, so there's that, and then this is going to be the Yotoi, and then this is Yotoi here. And then we'll measure... How do I want to do this? Where am I providing the bedding? Oh yeah, in my head, I'm considering providing it here. I did never say that out loud, I don't think. I'm never going to trash bedding. That's why I was looking at that earlier. So because I'm never going to trash bedding, and there's never really going to be byproduct bedding, why not just put it in the super trasher? It feels illegal in some ways to me, but at the same time, does it really matter? I don't think it does. So why not save a train station? And we just have to restrict it here to 5,000, 6,000. I don't know. We'll use a lot of it over time, so we'll leave it as a big buffer for now. But yeah, as far as I know, are you serious? There's one more caravan? How many caravans did I have running? This is crazy. I'm gonna steal a bunch of bots' jobs. We're just about to get here. They're not happy about that. And then, as far as rates, I have no idea what I need, so I'll use fast inserters for these guys. And we're still waiting on the saw blades, which are coming from somewhere over here. Yeah, I cannot believe that there was another, whatchamacallit, somewhere. That's really mind-blowing. But yeah, anyway, this guy will only run if, let's see, so it makes bedding 2 at a time, so it will be double stacked. Eventually, when I switch to the other bedding recipe, we'll be adding formic acid in, so it'll be 3 in 1. But then when I do the stack size upgrade, they will be stacks of 4. So it's a little confusing here how to measure this. Let's just first figure out how long this belt is. So this belt is 45 plus 33, that's 88, 58. No, 78, goodness. I think I've never done math before in my life. So 78, plus a couple extra here, so it's more like 80 something. So we'll just call it 80 tiles times 4 is 320. The stack size is at least 2, so we'll call it 640. So then this will only run if bedding is less than 600. Surely, because these aren't fast enough to support like a full belt, even if they're running constantly. So that's not going to turn. I could probably do like 400, to be honest. This belt is going to be nowhere near full. Okay. I think we did it. Here we go. Bedding is now alive. Now the bio crud is going to happen. There remains no great way to consume it except for composting it, really. Biocrud's such a weird thing. Like, we want to have enough of it, but it's annoying to trash. I mean, it's not that bad to just compost it, but it's like, but it feels bad to trash it because it's really good in the places that we need it, and it's used, you know, for like fertilizer, so we need some amount always for fertilizer, and then we could use it for biomass power, which maybe I'll move towards that, tier 3. And we can make wastewater from it, but wastewater is not really used for much. So that doesn't really matter. It's just free urea. I'm not going to want to spend the filtration. So I guess it's really for this recipe, which is for carbon black and random stuff. Maybe someday I'll do a big build for this. I don't know. For now, though, I am leaning towards delete. So that means we biocrud, 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 biocrud. And then, oh, the outputs. Ah, that's really annoying. And I can't put a splitter because then it messes with the belt reading. So I guess I just have to trust that like 3 in a row inserters will grab everything. Make them fast too. It's really silly, but the things we have to do. All right. And then this will grab all that biocrud, and then we'll just have to do one of these, and a boiler. These. Alright. Biocrud deletion is a go. No, not yet. Let me do this. That should do it. And now let's go feed that caravan a tasty morsel so he can die in peace. Or sorry, not die in peace. I mean, I guess eventually. In the real lore, I don't think caravans live forever, but he will live forever from my perspective. And bedding is done. So now we're gonna work on a big silver build, which is gonna look like a lot of lead ore. And I need to get science running, so I'll probably do that before the silver build. So are you the actual last caravan brain carrier? Wonder, where was he even going? He was going back and forth between those. That's crazy, man. You did a lot of trips over time. Also have a lot of jerky stored up here, and chitin. Jeez, so much chitin. All right, so for science, I'm going to, unless we're already like really close with vat brains. Wait. I should not be out of fetal serum. Crap, we are out of silver. That issue popped up sooner than I thought it would. That means we really need a lot more silver. Yeah, there's only 700 there. And then this silver. Yeah, it's just not fast enough. Silver plate production. Oh yeah, we're only getting 10, 12 a minute. And vat brains use it at 45 a minute. So I need to quadruple that. Got it. It's not quite as bad as I was expecting, actually. But anyway, what I wanted to do is look at how many vat brains I actually have. Oh, we got a shipment. Science should be starting soon. Oh, right. I just don't have these configured for the tier 2 vat brains. And this is not configured for the tier 2 vat brains. There we go. Boom. Okay, science is going to be turned on for a little bit. Sweet. And at least for now, I do think we want to turn on the afterburners. Actually, even officially, we have enough backed up to turn on the afterburners. So that means we'll get some less productive science too. I think for now, we just don't have enough vat brains to do the 8, so we'll run the full 16. which is going to be the fastest we've done science in quite a long time, but it won't be running 100% of the time. But I'm curious what this will get up to. Be like 30? 40? 50? I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Silver. They're just random crap blocks. What even was this? I have no idea. Oleochemical. Looking at stuff. That one was important. I might use an acetylene block someday. This should be moved over. All the other metals. So should the zinc. So should the molybdenum. All right. And oh, that's Nexalit. That's fine there. Okay. Solder, rubber. Whatever this is can be deleted. I'll leave cDNA there for now. This acetylene is just a random calculation chain, and I have 2 of them, so delete that. Vrauk food. Oh, this is the all foods. Yeah, that can be deleted, or kept. I mean, concrete can be deleted. Sulfuric can be deleted. This was my oil sands build. This was probably worth keeping. All right, we'll keep all these. Probably don't need this one though. What is this? Oh, this is coal analysis. I'll do it that way so it looks like coal. This was tar cracking. Green circuits, fluids, solids, plants, animals. Okay, I think we're pretty... I don't really need the mech parts one anymore. We just need to prod and beacon all of that eventually, and I think we're cleaned up pretty well. All right, so for the lead, I'm gonna add a pure silver one here. It's probably silver dash plate. Silver. And... not really the only... There is molten silver. When do I get that? Oh, wait. There's silver stage 2. Okay, that's when we get it. So we're a few researches away, but not that far. Silver lead solution, stage 1, but a fuel rod. Interesting. Okay, so we'll do it both ways. For now, we start with this way, and I'm definitely going to use stone furnaces since we can't do prod anyway. So silver lead dust. Oh my gosh. I do need to turn this upside down, though. Okay, so from 15 lead ore, we get basically nothing. Wait, we're not... yeah, this is wrong. Those are a loop, so we're gonna have to... You know, it complains, but it did it right. So I don't know what it was complaining about. Anyway. So this is it. We get 0.286 silver from 15 lead ore in. So that is not very much. But we can beacon this and speed module it. And if we do that on every step, then this will be a lot smaller, and we can probably like triple it pretty easily. So let's say we had a stacked belt. Now we still only need, yeah, 6 screeners, 3 crushers. Yeah, that's super easy. And now that's almost 1 silver a second, which is more the amount we need. So this is pretty easy, except for 1 bit, which is the lead. Is a ton of acetylene cost. Wait, that's not what I meant to do. What I meant to do is move this out. Look at it out here. Yeah. So, no modules in fluid mining drills? Really? Huh, more you know. Alright, so we can't add more prod even if we wanted to. So that is a crap ton of acetylene. And now the question becomes something you might have already said out loud to yourself, which is, what about the soot? That's not even better. That's the same amount of acetylene. We can turn skin into lead ore as well. But that's an absurd amount of skin. 45 skin a second. It'd actually be more than that. So that's not really reasonable. So then the soot method would be 56 soot a second. Is there any easy way to make soot? Not really. Ash is just not enough soot. I would need 2,000 ash a second for that. That's absurd. I could get 200 maybe, but not 2,000. So that's not gonna work. Soot from tar, again, that's just an absurd amount of tar. That's not really possible unless I make the tar from the tailings. I forget, does tailings have an output that could turn back into tar? I bet we could get coal dust back into tar somehow. That's tailings dust. Which is not gonna be, yeah, I don't know. Coal water slurry to benzene to, I bet we can get aromatics back to tar. Look, I'm just curious. You guys are all curious too, I know it. I mean, we can do heavy oil, light oil to tar. Petroleum, that's probably going to be the route there. What else is there? Coke and copper is not going to be it. Okay, so they're all in this menu. Could be oleochem and syngas because of the whole olefins thing. Coal gas, I don't think we can get from that. Gravel, probably not. That one's not a thing. So yeah, it's probably the petroleum gas or the light oil versions here. Oops, I did not mean to put them. So imagine did the petroleum gas one. Then the petroleum would come from oh, right there, we could just get aromatics to petroleum. And then we could get that aromatics from coal water slurry. Where's it at? Somewhere. There. And then if we prod, let's imagine this is later in the game. I bet this is positive. Oh, this one can't do prod. This one can, though. And that one can't. So maybe it's not positive. Yeah, I don't think it is. I mean, and anyway, this is such a silly digression. The important point is we need a ton of lead, and we're just going to have to make a ton of acetylene for it, and there's not really a better way to do it. Which does harken back a couple episodes ago. You guys may remember I said something about not needing the lead enriched biomass. There was a turd to upgrade the Grod for this. So I am giving up on that turd recipe, which could have 8-tupled the lead that we get from Grod, which means that for the amount of lead we're looking at, I could have gotten all. And is this productivity-able? No, it's not. So we could have done all of that from only 0.375 Grod a second. The problem is it still is needing this many Grod swamps, which is kind of crappy. Though we'd have higher tier buildings. But yeah, it's interesting that like to make the biomass, we would need about 7 times more buildings. But if they were tier 2 buildings with the tier 2 modules, it's not like too bad to make all that lead. Still 10 Grod swamps though. And then the pulp mills, but those can be speeded. I mean, this is like, is this really that much better than just making acetylene from coke, which is basically free anyway? I don't think so. So all that to say, we might need a new acetylene build. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that other than we probably need more acetylene. So that can be done in all these guys. And I guess the question is, we definitely want prod on the gasifiers. Or do we? This is actually really interesting. So let's start with a beacon. And let's do a 3-3. That's pretty standard. Or power to distribution efficiency. And like, what are the actual differences here? Like, by adding the prod modules, we save on a lot of coke, but coke isn't expensive, and our power usage skyrockets. So is that really worth it? I don't know if that's really worth it. And we need more buildings. Like, if I just do speed instead, you know, now we need way fewer buildings. 3 instead of 6. You need half as many buildings. That's kind of attractive. And the only cost is that we use some more coke, which we already have like gobs and gobs and gobs of, and it's easy to make gobs and gobs more, right? Like, remember how easy it is to make coke now with this recipe? If I'm speeding up these furnaces and we just have a couple miners, how many miners do I even need if I'm doing electric miners with speed modules and a beacon? Like, this is gonna be you know, 2.6 miners. Like, that's ridiculous. Come on, who this is just so powerful. Raw coal is insane at this stage of the game. So all that to say, I don't really think productivity is that important here, because I can make the acetylene at a raw coal patch. We don't even need trains to participate if we don't want them to. So yeah, this is the truth. Anyway, we do need the limestone, which I will make on site, because that is also easier to do now with beaconing. So this whole build is pretty tiny. I do want it to be like 500 though. We're gonna get ready for a lot. And then we are, do I want to get the slaked lime out, or do I want to recycle the slaked lime into the build? I've got to remind myself which one's which. Slaked lime is used in a variety of places, and it's also used to better turn salt into hydroxide. But that limestone gives me back the slaked lime. Okay. if I combine it with Coke. So why don't we not recycle the slaked lime? It means we have to make a little bit more limestone and make a little bit more Coke. Yeah, okay. So we'll make this at the raw coal patch. And this is the build. Okay. We just need a bunch of raw coal and water, and then we output all this great stuff. Infinite fluid fuel too, for what it's worth. What can I do with coke oven gas again? This is a pretty large amount of it. So like what we can, oh yeah, it was the soot. We can also just make syngas directly from it. This might be worth doing actually. If coke oven gas is backed up, we can get free syngas too. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. This is like a sort of reasonable way to make syngas too. This is crazy. Okay, so this build, and remember all of this is needed for lead mining for silver. We're still on the silver train. So this build is kind of already over here. So I think we can fill in this area to just keep going with this path. We're gonna need stack inserters though. So we're gonna have to modify this a little bit. I'm probably gonna go do that manually because that's a lot of item moving for the construction bots. And then we'll get the rest of it set up, and then we'll provide, where will I put the stations? I guess over here. So we've already got, this is just a normal channel 1 provider. So we can provide the, I guess we actually need it. Super trasher. Do I have a fluid super trasher nearby? I'd put one over there. Because the coke oven gas, the CO2, and the slaked lime are all byproducts. So I need a fluid super trasher with open spots. And here we go. We got all the open spots up here. So we'll send that up to the super trasher up here. And then the coke is getting used. The limestone is getting used. So I guess we have no solid outputs. Oh, that's weird. I like it, but it's weird. Okay. So let's start with the beacon, which we don't have yet. I'm fully aware. And then, I mean, these rates are crazy. I need bulk inserters for this. One building is going to be doing 12 items a second. Like, fast inserters aren't even close to enough. Is a bulk inserter enough? 9.2? No. Now, I do get stack or hand size upgrades. No, what is it called? Inserter capacity bonus. Such a weird way to put it. But it's only +1 more, so bulk inserters will probably be about 12 a second or so. And then we don't get any more until freaking production science? That feels a little weird. That feels a little bad. That's right, that's just a different way to make bulk inserters. Now, of course, I can always use a 90-degree bulk inserter if I want to get greedy, but in general, I guess stack inserters are faster because they start at 13 or whatever. But they swing slower, so they swing at 514. They're at 22 right now for direct insertion. Yeah, that's pretty strong. But it won't get much stronger because it's at 16 stack size and it'll only go to 17, so. Anyway, we might need to use loaders for this crap. Just load from one building to another. So let's start with these guys. So we've got 5 of these guys. And they are creating the coke. Most of which goes into high pressure furnaces, 70% goes into HPFs, and then 30% goes into the other HPF. So I think we can make it work like this. Because we need 30% going into here. Should be able to do like the classic green circuit thing like this. And then we just need to control suppose we do this. We want to make sure we have enough lime. So then this one will stop if we don't have enough lime. Yeah. And lime can be put on a belt. And use inserters. We'll do something like this. And then we can measure. I guess I can do this one. So that one will be enabled if lime on this belt is less than. It's hard though because it's going to be backed up pretty much because it's 10 a second. You know what I might do? It's a little, I don't know if wasteful is the right word, but let's just do this. And then we're measuring the chest. And we'll get a buffer of 200 first. So I think that'll work ratio-wise. And then we need all the limestone, which goes into this building only. Okay. I feel like I forgot something. Oh, the gasifiers. I checked off the wrong thing on the list. So those 5 are doing that. Those are feeding into these. Now I need 5 doing that, and then I need a bunch of gasifiers. Okay, the gasifiers fit along here, and they need the calcium carbide, which is also huge numbers. So that's gonna need to be like stacked. I'm gonna shift this over by 1, so I can shift that over by 1. I am gonna need another beacon, or I'm gonna need to like do a weird distribution of these. I need 8. And if I do the other 3 over here, that's fine, but now I don't really have room for the soil extractors. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. Anyway, so then the carbide, we're gonna need to output from 4 buildings. Why do I only have 3 buildings? Right? So each one of these makes 10 a second. Each one of these needs a little bit less than 10 a second. So what I didn't do was this. That's right, okay. Now we're good. But now this is not hitting that building. Well, shoot. Can we shift all these over by 1? Yeah. What? Entity ghost will not fit. Far be it for me to understand why. That one wouldn't shift over. Sure seems like that fit to me. Oh, I was standing in the way. Got it. That's funny. Okay, so now I can shift this one over, and now we're back to being able to shift these over by one so that we have enough room for stack inserters to grab from a stacked belt, which is what they'll be doing. Stacked red belt. And then these guys are outputting onto said stacked red belt. Technically, I could just use a yellow belt. It'll hold 60 items a second. Yeah, never mind. No reason to waste red belts here. I'll need the stack upgrade, but this is a build that will only reach its full potential a little bit later, once we have stack upgrades and once we have beacons and stuff. So I'm not worried about the particulars right at this moment. And then each of these buildings is going to need, what's 50 divided by 8? It's like 7 a second. So a bulk inserter would be enough. How many megawatts are we wasting here if I... 6 megawatts just for these stack inserters. Whatever, I'm just gonna do it. Because we don't have bulk inserters yet, and I don't want to deal with it, so I'm not gonna. Okay, this build is kind of crazy. It's a bit unlike anything we've done before, which makes it fun. Limit this a bit. A bit more. Alright, and then water is pretty important to this whole thing. Water goes into something else too, right? No. Oh, the soil extractors. Yeah, we need all those. We will have to have another beacon somewhere at some point. I'm not going to worry about it for this exact moment. We'll just set these guys up right here. And we'll put the water over here. I will make it just one direction. Oh my gosh, this episode's already been an hour. No! How? Where's the time going? Stop! Guys, make time slow down, please. Time is going too fast. I don't like it. Don't like it. Alright, so the limestone has to all go into that one building, right? Yeah, that's the only place it goes. Alright, so limestone just gets undergrounded. Actually, that's a really bad spot for it. We need the coke oven gas here. Alright, and then this guy turns around and goes into a loader. Okay. So that's good, and I think we're done with that. So then... now the last step is hooking up all of the primary fluids, which are these guys. And copy this, and repeat that all the way up. We can T-junction things. We can, perfect. So those are hooked in. Then we need the coke oven gas to be hooked up. Ah, doesn't work. I'll just have it wrap around then. Okay, so coke oven gas is all attached. And that goes up. And then the CO2 will go up. So now I've got all 4 output fluids going up. Then, for the ones that are not primaries, which is the CO2, the coke oven gas, and the slaked lime. We'll have pumps out of a tank for those. And then we can overflow those at 90%. This actually doesn't work. And then overflow. Okay, so that handles the overflow. Slaked lime, done. Exhaust pipe for the coke oven gas and for the CO2. I don't like not seeing the overflow. Okay, and then that should fix any weirdnesses with that. And now we've got the fluids that can go into the super trasher and the acetylene, which can go into a regular provider. Acetylene's not a byproduct, right? Not really. So I'm trying to get rid of gas bladders. So it doesn't matter if I put it in the super trasher either. Like, I can put it in the super trasher, is what I'm trying to say. So then we're gonna have to have some vertical connections here, which gets a little messy. So what I might do is actually have them here. So we'll go to 2. That will be the primary. 2 will be the acetylene. And then 3, what's kind of the second most important thing in my head? Coke oven gas? Probably coke oven gas. Or slaked lime. And then 4 will be slaked lime. And then 5 will be carbon dioxide. It's free. We are moving it on trains. We should probably keep moving it on trains. Then again, carbon dioxide from nothing is probably becoming even easier these days. So I'm not sure if it's still worth it to do... Wait, that's slaked lime. Shoot. 5 is the carbon dioxide. Yeah. Slaked lime is this one, which is the 4. Ah, shoot. We're gonna have to squiggle here. Like that. Okay. So now those are all hooked up, and now we need to find spots for these to connect. Okay, that water is gonna bother me, so let's fix that. Now, finally, we've got, are all the pumps powered up? I screwed that up too. I think they are. And then acetylene is this one. And then number 2 we said was coke oven gas, which is this one. And then the CO2 was the far right. That one. And then finally slaked lime is this one. Okay. And then the last thing to do is change all these into tier 1 buildings so that they actually run. And let our auto mall have a fun time with that. Gasifier. Oh, you know what I didn't do is water provision. Oh, no, we did. I thought about it. Cool. All right. And I might need to put speed bombs in those too. Oh, and then there's one final thing that I totally spaced. Raw coal input. So that needs to be like one of these. And then splitter, belt, butter. What's the rate at the end? 125. Holy crap. We actually are only going to have 120 at most. Even with fast loaders. Nuts. That needs to be red belt. Alright. And then red belt. I should be able to copy that. Okay, so that is gonna load, and we're gonna need power for all those loaders. And then now I think we're gonna go. Except we're not. We need power for these guys too. Alright, once the bots get here with all those things, I believe it will be done. And we'll remove the beacon for now. Possible I completely missed something here, but I don't think we did. And that is acetylene, coke oven gas, slaked lime, and CO2 from rock hole. Nice. Definitely not going to be enough rock hole for now. I guess we can... Just to make sure... Get as much as we can. Do that. Okay. We're gonna leave that alone for a minute, and then the silver build. Well, I guess we're not even mining the lead yet. We still have to mine the lead. Where's our lead mine? This one's still 63 million, so this should be plenty of lead. I just need more mining drills. Now, are they affected by beacons? Yes, maybe. Speed false. Consumption true. So I can not speed beacon them. And I cannot productivity beacon them because there's no productivity modules in beacons. But if there was a productivity module that fit in a beacon, you could do it. And I can decrease their power usage, but that's it. So that's about all we can do. All right, and then am I going to be able to rebuild? I think we go back to our lead. Yeah, I think this will be fine. We just need to upgrade all these buildings to tier 2 and speed modules and beacons. And then we're just going to need an absurd amount of lead ore. Now, that's the other question. We should do grade 1 and put that on trains. Because this step densifies the lead ore by a factor of 5 and a stack size of 2, which is a total factor of 10. So we'll use 10 times as many trains for lead ore if I put lead ore on trains. So that is an argument for bringing the grade 1 in and processing grade 1 here. For now, this is fine because it's directly belted. It's not on trains. But once we rebuild this somewhere else, I will probably want to do that separately. I'm just putting speed in literally everything. Unless prod can go in something. But I don't think it can. Well, I can go in that, but that's pointless. Also, I just realized doing that actually was removing the module from those buildings. Alright, well that'll speed everything up by 40%, at least, for now. And we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes for this episode, so we'll They have to be done soon, which I hate. Fat brains, we are making some again now, but I assume it's silver shortage still. Well, it's hard to tell. We must have just gotten a silver shipment. It seems fine for now. But is it fine? Probably not. What's the silver to brain ratio? 15 brains to 50 fetal serum. There's 2 silver. Oh, but I don't know how many brains I have stored up back here. Yeah, I guess it's hard to tell. Brains we're making like 65 a minute. So silver, we would need to be making... It's only 2 silver. I actually shouldn't be running out of silver based on those numbers. Because 15 brains to 2 silver is the ratio. And it's the same for Mark II. So... And this has productivity, so it's really not even 2 silver. It's like 1.82 silver or something. So that means as long as the silver that I'm making is at least about 15% of the brains that I'm making, then we're gonna be fine. So if I'm only making 60 brains a minute, as long as I'm making like 0.07 or something silver, we're fine. So I don't know. We shouldn't be running out of silver, really. We're gonna run out of brains first. Okay, well, the last thing I'll do in this episode before we work on that silver build a little bit more, or do I even need to work on it? I mean, it's already all set up. Like, if I look at these numbers, we've already got more than that. I've got 6 crushers, I've got 3, I've literally got double what we need. Now I do have 2 of these, but I can put speed bumps in them. So yeah, I've got more than we need for the silver. So it's just about bringing in more ore. Nope, I've already got 45 ore set up as well. So I guess what it's about is bringing in the acetylene, which I'm not doing. So we are gonna hit a cap at some point of 20 ore a second. I guess 30 ore a second because of whatchamacallit. Because of mining productivity. So that works. But that'll still cap out at 30. So I do need to bring the acetylene in on trains at some point. And then beacon it, and that's it. Oh, 40 is not a big enough number. Could go like 36, 32 maybe. Okay, there we go. Still not good though. Wait, why are these not running? Hold on, we got a problem. Why is the check mark not on? Oh. Wait, I can read if these are working? Oh, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Oh no. I didn't know I could do that. So that means I need to slightly... Because as soon as it stops, we're wasting vat brains. As soon as it stops inserting vat brains, it also stops inserting science. which wastes like 3 vat brains per run. Okay. So the way that, I know I said I was going to be done with the episode, but we'll fix this real quick. We can fix it pretty easy, I think. So this is still controlling the insertion of vat brains, which is what we want. What we need to change is the battery signal is relying on... So the thermometer signal is doing what again? That's telling us to insert vat brains. And the battery signal is telling us to insert science. So we need to measure whether the buildings are running to know whether to insert science. And we need to be measuring whether we have enough vat brains as far as controlling the vat brain insertion. So these guys, rather than using the thermometer signal, I might just kill that. And what I might do instead is measure these 4 buildings, read working, and they'll output the, what signal? Like a little researchy signal? Yeah, science packy signal. Or ghosty signal. Because they're like ghosts kind of thinking for us. So when that signal is 4, then we can allow, basically we turn on the check mark. Yeah, so we need a different one. When ghosts equals 4, output the check. So that's the signal that says, hey, keep inserting science for now. But there's a little bit of weirdness though, because it's going to insert science up until the moment these stop running, and then we waste a few packs. So would I rather waste a few science packs or waste a few vat brains? I don't think we can really fix it perfectly. I guess I'll just waste a tiny bit of science pack rather than vat brain. Right now, at least, that's the better trade-off. So anyway, so the output of check. So this is saying keep inserting science, because the check mark means go ahead and run things. So insert science. If the vat brains are running. And then this one is the one that outputs the thermometer. And that's also hooked up to the input of things, because the input and output of these are connected, right? Is that actually true? I'm not sure. Is the out... I guess the only way I can really tell is if I connect it over here and then mouse over that. Oh, but that's not a real... Come on. Alright, I just connected. No, that's not connected. Okay, never mind. So the output here is not about the inputs of these, it's about the outputs that to these inserters. Okay, got it. I think we fixed it so that now it will keep running science until these stop. Anyway, we've got plenty of science and I need to run science. So I'm just gonna turn on science for a minute here and we're gonna run the whole thing regardless of vat brains. Until we have more brains. We gotta keep research going. And probably work towards Mark II labs, because that gets us free science as well by having a second productivity module. All right, we're gonna call it an episode there. We've done a lot of good stuff. We made a huge new acetylene build. We got Renea worked on. I guess if I really wanted to finish the episode strong, we would add our Renea modules, and then we'll call it there. Good stuff. I am loving this pyanodon's playthrough. I feel like it's just getting more and more fun. There's so many things to do that like are coming around the corner. It just feels really satisfying. Okay, so we got plenty of guar here to finish out these guys. No longer need this belt. Bam. And then Renea is chilling here, and we've got enough seeds to run that one. And then we can add 4 more molecules. I actually have enough seeds to run it twice. Okay, so that, I am imagining we'll finish this in the next episode. An hour of that running should be enough. But yeah, I think we are good to go here. We're slowly getting these researches done, working towards beacons. I can queue up beacons now. I still have a question in my head of like, should we do something else first? Should we be fast tracking like Mark II buildings? And then we can double up the... Or fast track lab research speed to make the vat brains more effective. Because these two make vat brains more effective by quite a bit. And then the neuroprocessor one plus the science one, this plus that research will make us able to make lab tier 2, which gets us 10% more science for no cost. Technically 9% more than I'm making right now, but you get the idea. Anyway, we'll call it an episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see y'all in the next one.